Hello, this is Yasin Kocha and welcome to my video. In this video, we'll be setting up DHCP and dealing with remote desktop. DHCP, first of all, stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, which is a network protocol that is used to configure network devices so they could communicate on an IP network. Remote desktop is a protocol that provides a user with a graphical interface to another computer over a network connection remotely. To begin setting up our DHCP, we'll go to our server, manager under administrative tools. We'll click rules, go to add rules, click next. Here we will see DHCP server, you select that, click next again. Select the IP you're dealing with and click next. Make sure to validate. As you can see, it's valid, so we'll click next. We can leave this as default, click next, and now we'll want to add a scope, so we'll click add and add a scope name. We'll name this scope. For our starting IP address, we'll use 192.168.0.100, and for the ending IP address, we'll end with 192.168.0.200. For subnet mask, we'll use 255.255.255.0. It's okay. Make sure that the subnet type is also unwired by you. Hit next. We'll be disabling our IPv6 since we'll be using IPv4, so we'll hit disable and click next. Click next again and install. Okay, our installation is completed, so we'll close this, and as you can see in our server manager, our DHCP server has been installed. Now for remote desktop, what you want to do is go to one of your clients and go to properties under my computer. You see remote settings, click on that. Ensure that allow remote assistance is checked, also allow connections, apply and hit OK. Now we'll head back to our server. Exit this for now. Go to start. Now in our search we'll enter remote desktop connection. Here it is, click on that. And on the screen we'll need to enter the IP of the client which we are trying to take over. Our Vista client is the IP of 192.168.0.2. We'll hit connect. We'll be asked to enter username and password. It's okay, and it will connect. As you can see, it says another user is currently logged onto this computer. To continue, you need to disconnect the user from the computer. It will ask if you wish to continue, or hit yes. And now we'll see a message on our Vista client saying that administrator wants to connect to the machine. It's okay to disconnect your session, so you'll hit OK and your client will log off. Now we'll head back to our server and wait for it to log on. And as you can see here, our Vista machine is successfully logged in via the server. This is basically how remote desktop works. There's one more thing I'd like to do in this video, and that is DNS configuration. So I'll go through this quick. DNS basically translates domain names into IP addresses. To start with this configuration, what you need to do is go to your DNS manager. We'll type in DNS, you should see it here, click on that. Expand, and you should see forward lookup zones and reverse lookup zones. By default, forward lookup zones, as you can see, are created by default, but reverse lookup zones are not. We will need to create some new zones, so to start we'll go to forward lookup zones, right click and go to new zone. We'll hit next, leave this as default again, and we'll give our zone a name. We'll name this A zone. Hit next. I'll use allow boot here, the second option, as it's a test environment, but for a network in a business you're gonna want to use complete security. So hit next and finish. We'll also want to set up a zone for reverse lookup, so select that and go to new zone. It's basically the same process. We'll hit next. Default, we'll be using IPv4. Hit next, we'll give our network an IP. We'll be using 192.168.0. Hit next. We'll use allow boot again. Hit next and finish. Now after you finish with that, to test the lookup zone, we'll need to log into another system on the network. So we'll go to our Vista client and log in. Okay, now that our Vista client is up and running, if we go to our reverse lookup zone, we should be seeing our Vista PC. Here we go, Vista PC, yahoo.com, and here's the IP. Now for our forward lookup zones, what you need to do is go here under the server, right click, and here you should see launch NS lookup. Click on that. You'll have to enter the IP of the client, so our client is 192.168.0.2. Apparently there's an error here, unknown. You'll just need to restart the server to fix this error, but everything else works as you can see, and it's in order. Okay, that is basically how you configure your DNS, which brings me to the end of this video. Hope it was informative, and see you again next time.